Before we officially dive into our report, let's take a quick look at the actual profile of a Philippine entrepreneur. According to this section of the book, it highlights their unique characteristics and personalities. You'll notice that even if some of our local entrepreneurs did not get to finish formal education, katulad ng high school or college, they still possess a distinct street-smart personality. They rely heavily on their gut instincts when making critical business decisions. And honestly, this is the perfect moment to appreciate them. Bakit? They don't just boost our economy, they actively provide jobs and opportunities for our fellow Filipinos. So let's keep that in mind as we start. Hello, and welcome to Chapter 1 on the practice of entrepreneurship. So before we start, we have to ask ourselves, what exactly is an entrepreneur? So an entrepreneur, based on the book, is a life skill and the mindset of a person to be able to think accordingly in a vague or critical situation of an undefined future. So, just like in nursing, I believe that it is necessary to study entrepreneurship, not to just start a business, although wala namang masama kung gagawa tayo ng business, but rather so we can attain or achieve the mindset of an entrepreneur. Because an entrepreneur, hindi sila naghahanap ng opportunity. Gumagawa sila ng opportunity. No? And that's exactly how it should be in nursing. You don't wait for an opportunity to save a person, but rather you just save a person, di ba? It's a bad metaphor, but it still works naman. Next, we have the two types of views in entrepreneurship. The first is the traditional view, which means that it's all about business. No, we're talking traditional, historically, no, narrow-minded siya. So we're talking about a linear step-by-step process. Step 1, gagawa tayo ng idea. Step 2, implement natin idea. Step 3, register natin yung business. So on and so forth. It's linear process, step-by-step solution. It works, pero it's slow and steady. Diba? And at the same time, it's all about business. Pero when we're talking about entrepreneurship, that was the traditional view. Now, entrepreneurship does not necessarily mean that you have to create a business in order to be an entrepreneur or to have an entrepreneurial mindset. Just like in the modern view, we're talking about a mind skill, a life skill, no? A mindset na it's not all about business, but rather we need the mindset of a person that can be able to create opportunities for themselves, act accordingly in times of critical scenarios, no, in a undefined future or a scenario na alam mong walang-wala ka pero makakagawa ka pa rin ng paraan. Ngayon, ano ba ang difference ng traditional view sa modern view? So for the traditional view, gaya ng sabi ko kanina, it is a linear step-by-step process. At the same time, the future is already defined, no? Bakit? Kasi most of the time, yung mga big companies yung gumagamit nito. Kasi alam nila, it is proven and tested. At the same time, when you have a problem, you look for a predetermined goal, no? Iniisip mo, kaya kong ma-achieve to kung meron akong gamit na ganito. Ayun ang mindset ng traditional view. Pero if i-compare natin yan sa modern view, it is the life skill and the mindset that is the most important part. Bakit? Kahit alam niyang undefined ang future, ay kahit alam niyang hindi niya alam ano mangyayari, he or she is capable of taking that risk kung meron kang modern mindset ng entrepreneur. Kasi kahit gaya ng sabi ko kanina, kahit na wala siyang resources, hahanap pa rin siya ng paraan para ma-achieve niya yung goal niya. Katulad ng nursing. One time, may nakita ko sa hospital, no? Yung mga nurse doon, wala silang mga tourniquet. So, anong ginagamit nilang tourniquet? Ang ginagamit nilang tourniquet, yung gloves. Which is amazing, no? Kasi talagang di mo akalain na if you study entrepreneurship, you can also become a really good nurse kasi makakuha mo yung ganong klaseng mindset na kahit na yung mga gamit na wala ka, kasi di naman lahat ng hospitals ay merong gamit, may utilize mo pa rin yung environment mo in order to perform or to achieve your goal. So, ano nga ba yung end goal? So, the end goal, while their actions both differ, they both want the best result. And that is by combining the two views that we have in entrepreneurship, the traditional and the modern view. So, in a metaphor, pwede natin sigurong gawing example na, for example, nandito tayo sa ward. Sa ward, it is mostly a traditional view. Bakit? Kasi it is linear, no? Step by step na yung process natin sa ward eh. Every 4 hours, mag-VVS tayo. At 8 a.m., bibigay natin yung gamot na to. 12 p.m., maybe another gamot pag nag-order si doctor. But sa modern view, we can use the environment of the emergency room. Bakit? Kasi yung mindset ng modern view is to be able to utilize the resources that they have right now, and to be able to think and act accordingly in a vague or undefined future. Bakit? Because not everything you see in the ER is the same. Sometimes, someone there, nagdudugo na, someone else, masakit lang ulo. One time na-experience ko, nagpunta lang sa ER, yung pala, nagpapacheck lang ng high blood pressure niya. Diba? It's not every 4 hours may dadating na may sugat, every 4 hours may dadating na may bali sa paa. It's a different scenario each time a person goes in. And with the mindset of the modern entrepreneur, we can utilize it now to be able to act accordingly and become a good nurse that is able to care for their patient. So now we're gonna talk about the start of entrepreneurship in the Philippines. So first, we're gonna talk about the socio-economic impact. So, paano ba nagkaroon ng socio-economic impact ang entrepreneurs o ang entrepreneurship sa Philippines? So first, we have to look back in the past. Dati, meron tayo mataas na poverty. Hindi ko sinasabing mataas ang poverty natin ngayon. Of course, poverty will never go away. But at that before, mas mataas ang poverty rates natin. At the same time, meron lang tayong 6% average economic growth. So, what does this mean? So, meron tayong imbalance, no? Ang baba ng economic growth natin, at the same time, ang taas ng poverty rates natin. So, in order to combat this, na-realize ng government na ang entrepreneurs pala, o ang pagiging entrepreneur, ay makakapag-boost ng economic growth ng Pilipinas. Bakit? Because they're able to provide jobs and opportunities for the fellow Filipino citizens. That's why, nagkaroon tayo ng 1987 Constitution kung saan sinusuportahan nila ang mga small and private businesses. And na-realize ng Philippine Development Plan na okay, so pwede natin suportahan ang mga small businesses. Kailangan ang government ay nakadirect sila sa objective na pag-support sa mga small entrepreneurs ng bansa natin in order to boost our economy.
Kaya ang Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry kasama ang Philippine Center for Entrepreneurship ay tumulong sa paggawa ng Go Negosyo Act. Ngayon, ano ba ang Go Negosyo Act? Ito ay sumusuporta para sa mga tinatawag nating small or micro businesses in the country, kung saan ang isang normal na Pilipino ay na may pangarap na gustong gumawa ng business ay pwedeng pumunta sa tinatawag nating negosyo centers where they can register for their business as well as their business's name. That's why after magawa ang Go Negosyo Act, mas nag-boom ang mga small or micro businesses in the country, not only legalizing them but also supporting them, and then therefore increasing the economic growth of the country na pinalaban ang ating poverty growth. So after that, naisipan din ng Pilipinas or ng government natin na i-introduce ang entrepreneurship sa education. So after education integration, of course, mas maalam ang mga tao na gustong magkaroon ng business na mag-undergo ng pag-study sa entrepreneurship in order to further increase their knowledge when they're gonna start a business, therefore at the same time help the country boost its economy and their fellow citizens by giving them job opportunities. And that's the history of entrepreneurship or the start of entrepreneurship in the Philippines.
So now let's tackle about the important entrepreneurship skills. So firstly is the skill of reflection. Reflection helps the entrepreneurship learn from their experience as well as assess the result and also gain new knowledge from it. So moving on to the type of reflection, firstly is the narrative. Dito na po dinedescribe kung ano yung nangyari, who was involved, and what was being said. Next is we have the emotional. Dito naman po nagpo-focus na tayo sa feelings and how they are being managed. Number 3 is perceptive. Dito naman po, kinukuha na natin yung feedback, insight, and different viewpoints. Next is the analytical. Dito naman, kinoconnect na natin yung experience as well as the knowledge doon sa ating learnings. Number 5 po is evaluative. Dito naman po ina-assess na natin kung ano yung nag-work well and kung ano po yung hindi nag-work. And lastly is yung critical. Dito naman na po natin kino-consider yung action na ating ginawa as well as yung improvement and lesson learned na natin. So bakit nga ba mahalaga na meron tayong reflection? Dahil po sa reflection, nagkakaroon tayo ng deeper learnings as well as better decision making as well as continuous improvement sa ating mga ginagawa. Number 2 naman po is the skill of play. So dito naman na po natin magagamit yung ating creativity, innovation, as well as the problem solving skills na meron po tayo. So ano-ano nga ba yung benefits ng skill of play? Unang-una na po dyan ay ang pagtaas ng engagement as well as attentiveness. Pangalawa, ine-encourage nito ang ating creative thinking. Pangatlo, ini-improve nito ang ating relationship as well as collaboration. At ang panghuli, pwede po siyang ma-develop through stimulation, games, as well as role-playing. Bakit nga ba mahalaga ang play or ang skill of play sa entrepreneurship? Ang mga tao po na nag-involve or gumagamit ng skill of play ay mas nakakaroon po sila ng innovative solution as well as paggamit ng creativity thinking nila. Pangatlo naman po ay ang skill of experimentation. So ano nga bang experimentation? Experimentation means na learning through experience as well as action. So ano-ano nga ba ang examples nito? Siyempre, unang-una na po dyan ay ang pag-gather ng real data instead na mag-rely tayo sa mga data na meron tayo sa internet. Pangalawa ay ang pag-testing ng mga assumption through interviews and observation. And lastly naman po ay ang pag-evaluate ng mga new practices and services bago natin sila i-launch. So bakit nga ba mahalaga ang skill of experimentation? Unang-una, nare-reduce yung risk, as well as na-improve yung product, as well as nalalaman po ng entrepreneurship yung mga kailangan ng kanyang customers or target na customer. Pang-apat naman po ay ang skill of empathy. So ano nga po ba ang empathy? Ang empathy po ay ang ability natin to understand and relate to the feelings, needs, and experiences of other people. Unang-una na po dyan ay naiintindihan po ng entrepreneurship ang kailangan ng mga customers as well as the stakeholders. Pangalawa po ay nakaka-build po to ng meaningful relationship. And lastly po, inaalaw po nito yung mga entrepreneurship po na makapag-isip ng meaningful solution po sa real problems. One good example is that understanding the struggle of other entrepreneurship by putting yourself in their situation. Lastly po is number 5, the skill of creativity. So ano nga po ba yung creativity? Creativity means the ability to generate new ideas, discover opportunities, as well as solve the problem in an innovative way. So ano-ano nga po ba ang importance nito? Una sa lahat is encourage innovation. Pangalawa po, help identify the business opportunities. And lastly po, ini-enables po nito yung mga entrepreneurship po na magkaroon ng adaptation po doon sa market changes as well as the challenges.
Now, let's proceed to the different truths about entrepreneurship. Let's start with the question. Do you think there is a shortcut to becoming successful in business? Many people think that starting a business is an easy way to become rich. Akala nila na kapag nagbukas sila ng negosyo, mabilis agad silang kita ng pera. Pero ang totoo, hindi ganoon kasimple ang pagiging entrepreneur o ang pagnenegosyo. One important truth about entrepreneurship is there are no shortcuts in entrepreneurship. It requires hard work, commitment, and there is no quick formula for success. The first truth about entrepreneurship is not solely for startups. Many people think that entrepreneurship is only about starting a business. Pero as we go through this discussion, we will see that entrepreneurship is much more than that. Entrepreneurship is not only about startups. So ano nga ba yung startup? A startup is a new company that is just beginning. Ito yung stage kung saan bagong bukas pa lang ang business. Everything is still new, the ideas, customers, and operations are still being developed. It is still small and it is trying to find the best way to become successful. Usually, it is managed by one or a few founders and often funded by the entrepreneur or their family. It is also still looking for a clear business model, meaning hindi pa fix kung paano talaga sila kikita or lalago. But entrepreneurship does not stop there. Startups can grow into bigger businesses over time. And more importantly, entrepreneurs are not only found in startups. Entrepreneurs can also be found in companies, franchises, profit organizations, nonprofit organizations, and family owned businesses. Now let's move to another truth, and this is the entrepreneurs do not have exceptional personality qualities. Many people believe that successful entrepreneurs are born with special personality traits. But according to research, walang scientific evidence that entrepreneurs have special personalities that other people do not have. Traditionally, entrepreneurs are often described as achievers, influencers, risk takers, and people who are open to uncertainty. Pero hindi ibig sabihin na kailangan mong taglayin agad ang lahat ng qualities na ito para maging isang entrepreneur. Today, researchers focus more on how entrepreneurs think and act rather than on their personality traits. Because entrepreneurship is not mainly about who you are, it is more about how you identify opportunities, solve problems, make decisions, and respond to challenges. And because of this, we understand that entrepreneurial thinking can be learned and developed by anyone. Next is entrepreneurship can be taught yet entails practice. Entrepreneurship is taught in colleges and universities worldwide. At kadalasan, itinuturo ito bilang isang step-by-step o linear process. May sinusunod tayong linear process. So, ano nga ba ito? So the first step is to identify opportunities, which means finding a problem or need that can be turned into a business opportunity. The second step is to determine needed resources. So this means identifying the things needed to start the business, such as the money, equipment, technology, knowledge, and also people who can help. The third step is to obtain resources, which means gathering or acquiring the resources needed to turn the business idea into reality. And the fourth is to plan. So at this stage, the entrepreneurs create goals and strategies to guide the business and increase its chances of success. The fifth is to implement. So which means dito na pinuput yung plan into action and actually starting the business. And the last step is to harvest the results. So this means evaluating the outcomes and determining whether the business achieved its goals or if there are areas that need improvement. So however, in reality, hindi siya ganon kasimple because entrepreneurship is unpredictable. Ibig sabihin, kahit gaano kaganda ang plano, hindi lahat ng bagay ay mangyayari ayon sa inaasahan. There may be unexpected problems, changes in customer preferences, new competitors, or other challenges that can affect the business. And because of this, success in entrepreneurship requires more than just knowledge. Entrepreneurs also need important skills such as problem solving, decision making, communication, creativity, and adaptability. At hindi sapat na alam mo lang dapat ang mga skills na ito. So these skills must be continuously improved through practice. So katulad sa nursing, hindi sapat na basahin mo lang yung mga procedures. You also need to apply and practice them so you can understand them better and also become more skilled. Same din sa entrepreneurship. Students may learn how to create a business plan in class, but they develop real entrepreneurial skills when they actually experience running a business. So that is why learning entrepreneurship involves both knowledge and experience. Knowledge teaches us what to do while experience teaches us how to do it effectively in real life situations. Next is entrepreneurs are not so much risk takers. So mayroong common misconception about entrepreneurship and that is they're often viewed as gamblers. And people believe they take greater risks than others. However, the reality is different. Entrepreneurs do not rely on chance alone. Hindi sila basta gumagawa ng decision. Instead, they gather information, study the situation, and carefully analyze their options before making important decisions. So, bago sila mag-start ng business or mag-introduce ng product, entrepreneurs often conduct research to understand the market, the customer needs, and possible challenges they may face. And because of this, entrepreneurs do not simply take risks, they calculate risks. So this means they think about the possible benefits and possible losses before making a decision. Sa ganitong paraan, mas prepared sila sa kahit anong mangyari. And another important thing to remember is that entrepreneurs learn from every experience. Not every decision will lead to success. And sometimes entrepreneurs make mistakes, experience losses, or face failures. And however, mag instead na mag-give up sila, they use those experiences as learning opportunities. They analyze what went wrong, make improvements, and apply those lessons when making future decisions. Next is entrepreneurs work in partnership more than they compete. Community support is important in entrepreneurship. Ibig sabihin, hindi lang sariling effort ang nakakapag-success sa isang negosyo. Malaki rin ang role ng ibang tao at ng community sa pag-grow ng isang business. Next, entrepreneurs learn from the experiences of others. Hindi nila kailangan dumaan sa lahat ng mistakes by themselves. Instead, they observe, listen, and learn from other entrepreneurs, customers, and even mentors para mas maging wise ang decisions nila. And because of this, partnerships play a very important role in entrepreneurship. And partnerships are built with other entrepreneurs, customers, investors, and also family and friends. So ano nga ba ang mga benefits ng partnership and entrepreneurship? First is more efficiency. Mas nagiging smooth at mas mabilis ang trabaho kapag may kasama ka. Tasks are shared, so mas less stress at mas organized ang work. Second is fresh ideas. Kapag may ibang tao kang kapartner, mas maraming ideas ang lumalabas because different people have different perspective and also experiences. Third is innovation. Through collaboration, mas na-develop ang new ideas, new products, and better ways of solving problems. Fourth is strong support system. Kapag may challenges or failures sa business, hindi ka nag-iisa. May mga taong pwedeng mag-support sa'yo, mag-advise, at tumulong sa'yo to continue. For example, is may isang student na nag-start ng small online business niya. And instead of doing everything alone, nakikipag-collaborate siya sa friends niya for design ideas, sa family naman niya for support, at sa customers niya for feedback. And because of this partnership, mas gumaganda ang product at mas na-improve ang service and mas dumadami din ang customers. And this shows that entrepreneurship is not just about competing with others, but also about working with others to grow and improve. Next truth is entrepreneurs are more on doing than planning. Akala nila na once you have a detailed plan, automatic magiging successful na ang business. However, research shows that not all successful companies started with a formal business plan. In reality, successful entrepreneurs focus more on taking action rather than just planning. Ibig sabihin, instead of spending too much time thinking and planning, they start doing things and learn along the way. For example, they talk to customers to understand what people really need and want. They promote their products and services. Next is another example is they build networks. They connect with other people, mentors, and possible partners who can help their business grow. And also they gather information for better decisions. They learn from their feedback, market trends, and real experiences instead of guessing. Now, another important point is what investors usually look for. What investors value is not only a perfect plan, but real qualities shown by the entrepreneur. Investors usually look at strong customer relationships. So, ito yung kung gaano kaganda ang connection ng entrepreneur sa customers. Next is problem-solving skills. Ito naman yung ability ng entrepreneur na makahanap ng solusyon kapag may challenges sa business. Next is the ability to handle challenges. Ito naman yung kung paano nag-react ang entrepreneur kapag may problems or failure sa business. Another what they usually look at is the openness to feedback and learning. So, ito yung willingness ng entrepreneur na makinig sa suggestions ng ibang tao like customers, mentors, or partners. Ibig sabihin, hindi sila close-minded. Kapag may feedback, they don't take it negatively. Instead, ginagamit nila ito to improve their products, services, and also decisions in the future. Next truth is entrepreneurship is truly a life skill. Entrepreneurship was once associated only with starting a business. So, ito yung dating common idea ng mga tao. Akala nila entrepreneurship is only for people na magtatayo ng business or magnanegosyo. Pero ngayon, mas naiintindihan na natin na mas malawak pa ito kaysa sa pagbuo lamang ng negosyo. So, today, entrepreneurship is recognized as a valuable life skill. Ibig sabihin, entrepreneurship is not only for business owners. It is now considered a skill na magagamit sa everyday life, kahit student ka pa, employee, or kahit anong profession. So it is useful not only for entrepreneurs but also for people in different professions. So here are the benefits of entrepreneurship as a life skill. First, it develops a systematic way of thinking. So by doing this, mas nagiging clear ang thinking mo and mas less ang mistakes because hindi mo nirarush yung mga decisions mo. Second, it helps identify opportunities. So mas nagiging observant ka sa paligid mo. Nakikita mo yung mga problems at possible solutions na pwede gawing opportunity. Third is, it improves problem-solving skills. So, natututo kang mag-isip ng solutions instead of giving up when challenges appear. Fourth is, it encourages adaptation to new situations. So, ibig sabihin, mas kaya mong mag-adjust kapag may changes or unexpected situations. And last is, it helps people manage their goals and ambitions. So, mas naging clear ka sa goals mo at mas nagkakaroon ka ng direction kung paano mo ito ma-achieve. So next, now apart from these benefits, entrepreneurship also builds important life skills. So ano-ano nga ba itong mga life skills? So first is resilience. So resilience is the ability to deal with setbacks. Ibig sabihin kahit may failure or problems, kaya mong bumangon ulit, matuto at magpatuloy instead of giving up. Second is agility. Ito yung ability mo to respond quickly to changes. Kapag may bigla ang pagbabago sa situation, marunong kang mag-adjust at maghanap ng bagong opportunities. Next is, third life skill is negotiating. So, it is about communication and agreement. Ibig sabihin, marunong kang mag-set ng boundaries, makipag-usap ng maayos, at mag-maintain ng good relationships with other people. Next is problem solving. So this means finding solutions to different challenges, whether small or big, like technical issues, financial problems, or everyday difficulties. Next is another important life skill is the relationship building. So it is about creating strong and positive connections with other people, such as suppliers, investors, employees, and even customers. So next is mindfulness. So, it is the ability to stay calm and focused in the present moment. Ibig sabihin, natututo kang i-manage ang stress at emotions para mas makapag-isip ka ng maayos kahit pressured ka. And from this, we can understand that entrepreneurship is not only about starting a business, but also a life skill.
Now that we understand entrepreneurship, let's discuss the different types of entrepreneurship and how entrepreneurs create value in different ways. First, we have intrapreneurship. From the word itself, intra means within. This happens when employees think and act like entrepreneurs within a company. Instead na magtayo ng sariling business, they create new ideas, products, or services para makatulong sa growth ng company. A good example is Google. They encourage employees to work on their own projects and ideas. Isa sa mga employees nila si Paul Bakit, who created the original version of Gmail, including its powerful search function and improved storage capacity. Dahil sa innovation niya, naging isa ang Gmail sa pinaka-used email platform sa buong mundo. So, magandang example ito kung paano nakakatulong ang employees sa growth ng isang company through innovation. Next, we have entrepreneurs inside. They're quite similar to intrapreneurs, but they can work in different organizations, not just businesses. Pwede rin silang nasa government agencies, cooperatives, non-profit organization, and other institutions. Basically, they look for ways to improve services and create value from within the organization. For example, yung Palengke Day ng Pure Gold. Nakakatulong ito sa consumers na makabili ng mas murang produce habang nababawasan din ang food waste. Through simple but creative solutions like this, entrepreneurs inside can make a positive impact even without starting their own business. Next is buying a franchise. Instead of building a business from scratch, an entrepreneur buys the right to operate an established brand. Examples ay yung Jollibee, McDonald's, and 7-Eleven. Maraming entrepreneurs ang pinipili ang franchising because the business model is already proven and kilala na ng customers ang brand. This means, mas madali silang makaka-attract ng customers compare sa isang bagong business na wala pang pangalan. However, hindi ibig sabihin nun na automatic successful na. Kailangan pa rin ng i-manage the business properly, maintain quality service, and follow the standards set by the franchisor. So kahit may support na from the well-known brand, malaking factor pa rin ang effort at management skills ng isang franchise owner. Next is buying a small business. Instead of creating a business from scratch, bumibili ang isang entrepreneur ng existing business at siya na yung nagpapatuloy nito. One advantage of this is the business may already have loyal customers, experienced employees, and established reputation. Because of that, mas bababa na yung risk compared sa pag-start ng bagong negosyo. Pero syempre, may mga challenges pa rin. Kailangan siluin ng entrepreneur kung profitable ba talaga yung business at kung may problems na kailangan ayusin. Once they take over, they can introduce new ideas, strategies, para mas mapalago pa yung negosyo. Next is social entrepreneurship. Unlike traditional business that mainly focus on profit, social entrepreneurs aim to solve social or environmental problems while maintaining a sustainable business. And yung mga problems na yun can be related to poverty, education, health, or even environmental issues. And one good example of this is the Bayani Brew. They use ingredients sourced from local farmers, helping provide them with additional income and livelihood opportunities. So, habang kumikita yung business, nakakatulong din sila sa community. This is why social entrepreneurship is often described as business with a mission. Next is family business. These are businesses owned and managed by family members and are often passed on from one generation to another. Examples sa Philippines ay yung SM, Metrobank, and Aboitiz Group. In fact, according to the Philippine Daily Inquirer, around 80% of businesses sa Philippines are family-owned or family-controlled, highlighting the significant role of family enterprises in the country's economy. One of their strengths is the strong sense of commitment among family members. Since yung business is part na ng legacy nila, they're often highly invested in its success. However, nag-face din sila ng mga challenges such as succession planning and adapting to change in the market. That's why very important na kada generation, they bring fresh ideas while still preserving the values of the business. And lastly, we have serial entrepreneurs. These are people who don't stop at just one business. They continuously start and build new ventures. What makes them unique is that they enjoy creating and developing businesses. They are always looking for new opportunities and willing to take on new challenges. A famous example of this is Oprah Winfrey. She started her career as host, but hindi siya tumigil doon. She later founded Harpo Productions, launched O Magazine, and created Oprah Winfrey Network, o mas kilalang OWN. Through these ventures, she was able to build a business empire across different industries. So, those are the different types of entrepreneurship. Kahit magkakaibang approach nila, they all contribute to innovation, economic growth, and creating opportunities for other people, whether it's within a company, a family business, or a franchise, or a social enterprise. Each type plays an important role in helping businesses and communities grow. So here, you can take a quick pause to read what I have discussed.
Next, I will be discussing the entrepreneurship po as a method. So first, kailangan mo natin ma-understand kung ano nga ba yung difference between a method and a process. So, yung method is a systematic way of doing something, while yung process is a series of steps followed to achieve a goal. Traditionally po, yung entrepreneurship is they viewed as a process where careful planning and forecasting which means they try to plan ahead po for the future, can lead to success of the entrepreneurs. However, this does not always apply to small businesses po. Entrepreneurship is often non-linear, unpredictable, and complex. because yung entrepreneurs always operate in a constantly changing environment. Because of this, yung entrepreneurship is better understood as a method, a way of thinking that helps manage uncertainty po. Okay, one key concept is the entrepreneurial method by Sarah Sarasvati. She introduces po yung effectuation. This means po yung entrepreneurs should focus on creating future instead of predicting it. So, as you can see po dun sa entrepreneurial method, again po, nagko-contradict po siya dun um, sa traditional meaning po ng entrepreneurship, which yung sinabi ko po kanina, na they of careful planning and forecasting po. Okay, so there are 5 principles of effectuation. First is the yung bird in hand principle. This means po yung entrepreneurs start what they already have, their identity, knowledge, and network po. Instead of waiting po dun sa perfect opportunity na inating nila, rather than setting a fixed goal po, they should explore different possibilities using available resources. For example po, we have Socorro C. Ramos. Nag-start po siya nung National Bookstore noong 1942 with only 211 pesos and a small rented space, proving that big businesses can begin po from small resources. For the second one po, we have dun sa affordable loss principle. This principle po teaches the entrepreneurs po na mag-focus po dun sa what they can afford to lose, not what they expect to gain po. With that po, yung mga entrepreneurs po is nagre-reduce yung fear of failure nila and allows them to take more calculated risks po with their Second is the affordable loss principle. This principle po teaches entrepreneurs na mag-focus po sila on what they can afford to lose, not what they expect to gain. With this po, yung mga entrepreneurs natin is nare-reduce po yung fear nila of failure and na-allow po sila para po mag-take po ng more calculated risks. For example, we have po si Mariano K. Si Mariano K po is nag-invest po siya ng only 100 pesos and gawan po siya ng push cart para po mag-sell ng medicine, an amount he was willing to risk at that time. Third is the crazy kilt principle. This emphasizes building partnerships and collaborations instead po na mag-compete po kayo alone. With that po, yung mga entrepreneurs na nag-work together or nag-work with others who have different skills and resources is yung mga partnership po na yon is nare-reduce po yung uncertainty and mas na-expand po yung mga opportunities na meron po sila. For example, meron po tayo nito na si Jollibee Foods Corporation. Nakapag-partner po sila sa Globe Telecom para po ma-improve yung delivery system nila, making the services more efficient as well as customer-related po and customer-centered. Pang-apat po, meron po tayong lemonade principle. So, yung lemonade principle naman po is hina-highlight niya dito yung importance of embracing surprises and turning problems into opportunities. The entrepreneurs po do not avoid challenges. Ginagamit po nila ito para po ma-innovate rather, and to improve yung business po nila. For example, meron po tayong example, si Cecilio Pedro, which nakaharap po siya ng crisis when yung aluminum tubes became obsolete po. Pero ginawa po niya, yung problem po na yun is ginawa po niyang opportunity by creating Lamoyan Corporation and became a leading producing of happy and successful brands such as yung Happy nga po, which is yung toothpaste po na ginagamit natin for today po. Lastly po is yung the pilot in the plane principle. This means na yung entrepreneurs should focus on controlling what they can rather po dun sa predicting dun sa future. Yung actions po na to and decisions tend to shape the outcome of their businesses. For example po, we have si Corazon D. Ong. Ginamit po niya yung knowledge niya and knowledge po niya as a dietitian para po mag-start po ng CDO Food Sphere, providing convenient and nutritious food for families po.
So now naman is we're going to discuss the 4 components of entrepreneurship method. So first is we're going to identifying the desired impact. So ano nga ba to? So this is your core motivation or your why. Starting a business is really just making about money because profit alone doesn't sustain your hard work. So, totoo naman, entrepreneurship comes from a deep desire for independence, controlling your own work, or creating something totally new for the world. Example, think of the founder of a company who cares more about solving a community problem. Like, gusto niya, malinis yung environment niya, than just becoming rich. So, yung main goal niya is hindi sa gusto niyang yumaman. Yung main goal niya or yung desired goal niya or desired impact niya is positivity change sa company niya. So, yun yung meaning ng identifying the desired impact. So, secondly is to begins with means at hand. So, ano nga ba to? So, you do not wait for a massive amount of money or a perfect situation to start. Instead, you look at the resources you already have right now. You find these resources by answering these questions like, who am I? What do I know? And whom do I know? Example, gusto mong mag-start ng baking business or bakery. So, hindi ka agad magre-rent ng pwesto agad. You look at what you have. Like, sino ba ako? Marunong ba ako mag-bake? Oo, marunong ako. So, meron ka lang ikaw. Like, ano bang kaya kong gawin? Kaya kong gumawa ng masasarap na brownies. So, ayun, pangalawa mo. And, sino ba yung mga kilala ko? Or, whom do I know na bibili nito? Like, friends ko sa schools na gusto yung brownies. So, pagsisimula ka dun sa kung anong meron ka ngayon. Yun yung magiging parang pinaka-strong na puhunan mo or pundasyon mo para mas lumago or mas mag-success yung business mo. So, for the third is we're going to describe the idea today. So, ano nga ba yun? So, you take your big goal or yung desired impact na sinasabi natin kanina. And ngayon, i-combine naman natin siya sa what you currently have or kung anong meron ka ngayon. Then, this allows you to create a specific action plan that you can physically start today using today's resources. Example, instead of magsulat ka or magplano ka ng business plan mo for next year, ngayon pa lang, may idea ka na mag-start. Like, kunyari nga, yung business na naisip mo is baking, marunong ka mag-bake. So, gagawa ka na ng first batch of brownies mo. Then, ililista mo na kung magkano yung nagastos mo sa ingredients. And, ayun, yun yung describe your idea today. So, for the fourth and last components of entrepreneurship method is to estimate the affordable loss. So, ano nga ba to? Sa business, we are focusing on calculating the risk and i-maximize yung kita natin. So, this method flips it. Kasi, yung risk is mahirap siyang ma-predict. And, entrepreneurs look at what they are willing to lose. So, this includes setting a strict limit on the money, time, reputations, and opportunity costs you are okay with parting with. So, knowing these limits keeps keeps fear from controlling you. Like, example, bago ka mag-start ng project mo, na pag-desisyonan mo na willing ka mag-spend ng 20 or 30,000 and 4 hours of your time this weekend. So, kapag yung preparation mo na, or kapag yung idea mo na yun is nag-fail, you only lost what you were completely prepared to lose. Or yun lang yung malolos mo. So, yung failure na yun doesn't hurt you. Kasi nga, you already estimate your affordable loss. So, yun yung meaning ng pang-fourth component natin.
For Chapter 2, we will talk about entrepreneurial mindset and opportunity. For the learning objectives, the learner shall be able to Compare fixed and growth mindsets. Generalize characteristics and essentials of entrepreneurial mindset. Consider opportunity recognition using mindset, and adapt the ideate model in opportunity recognition. Now, there's a famous quote: I stand upon my desk to remind myself that we must constantly look at things in a different way, by John Keating, lead character in the 1989 film Dead Poets Society. Now, this quote reminds us that successful entrepreneurs think differently. They look for opportunities where others see problems. For several decades now, there has been a constant debate whether entrepreneurs are self-made or they possess unique gifts. But today, success is more connected to having an entrepreneurial mindset. It helps entrepreneurs innovate, take risks, and learn from failures. That even when a business fails, entrepreneurs continue because they see opportunities to improve. Now, what is a mindset? A mindset is a belief about whether abilities and intelligence are fixed or can be developed. It is introduced by Carol Dweck in her book Mindset. There are two types of mindset: fixed mindset and growth mindset. For fixed mindset, they believe talents and abilities are inborn and cannot change. Also, they avoid challenges and fear failure. They have a mindset na hindi ako magaling magnegosyo so hindi ko nasusubukan. For growth mindset, they believe abilities can be improved through effort and learning, and they see failures as opportunities. They have a mindset na hindi pa ako magaling ngayon pero matututo rin ako. Basically, fixed mindset says, I can't, while growth mindset says, I can learn. Now, for characteristics of an entrepreneurial mindset, after understanding the growth mindset, let us discuss the 8 characteristics. First one, curiosity. It is about asking questions and seeking knowledge. Second, commitment. It is about persisting despite challenges. Next, optimism, believing that solutions exist. And flexibility, adapting to change. Ownership, taking responsibility. Next, leadership. It is about guiding and motivating others. Next, connection. It is about building networks and relationships. For self-respect, it is about taking care of physical and mental well-being. We can also remember it by the mnemonics COFFEE LSO. Curiosity, optimism, flexibility, focus or commitment, empowerment or leadership, engage people connection, leadership, self-respect, ownership. Remembering that entrepreneurs need coffee anyway.
Now let's move on to the essentials of entrepreneurial mindset. In this part, it is said that entrepreneurial mindset appear to be like a common sense, yet they are not a common practice. Here, I will be discussing the essential things that an entrepreneur must have to be able to enjoy and initiate success on what they are doing. We will be discussing about how they think, how they make decisions, as well as on how they view the world. Number 1, passion first. So sa part na to, sinasabi lang that real entrepreneurs build their business based on what really matters to them. Like, they build their business not just to chase money, but because it's important to them and because they enjoy what they are doing. So that during difficult times, it will be not hard for them to find the meaning and purpose on what they are doing. So, for example na lang, someone who loves baking, nagpatayo siya ng pastry shop. They build that business or they start that business not just to earn money, but because they truly enjoy baking. And during difficult times, like for example, when sales are slow, they still continue on their business because that's what matters to them. That's what they enjoy. Next, everything is possible. Believing that they are capable of accomplishing unexpected results. So in this part, entrepreneurs believe that nothing could serve as a hindrance to set their potentials. They have this unwavering belief na kung saan their creative ideas could be turned into reality. That's why they set bigger goals. Like for example, etong tao na to, they don't have any experience on online selling. But they did research, learn it step by step, and eventually they build a successful online store. Next is 100% accountable. Of course, for others, it will be easier for them to blame other people based on the outcomes of their plans or their actions. But a real entrepreneur believes that they have 100% responsibility or accountability on the outcomes of their plans or their actions. They believe that they have the power to choose their response over any situations or over any problems that comes in their way, na they could still build a new start and create a different conclusion. Like for example, a business project fails. Instead of blaming others like their employees on the result, the owner or the entrepreneur admits that they planned it poorly. They learn from it, they learn from their mistakes, and they make better plan for next time. Moving on to number 4, we are connected. So these entrepreneurs believe na they cannot achieve their dreams alone. They still need the help of others. And nagsisimula ito by helping other people to also achieve their dreams without expecting anything in return. This could help to grow their relationship. Like, siguro for example, I am a small business owner and I tried to help another local shop to promote their products. And later on, that shop also helps me to promote my product. Therefore, our business grows together. Next is live life to give. Most business people offer time and resources for a valuable cause. So sa part naman na to, sinasabi na ang entrepreneur, they view life as a cycle. And to be able to create a positive cycle in the society, they believe that those who earned should give to those with less. And therefore, that could help to fuel and as well as to protect the future of their community. Like for example na lang, there is a cafe owner. This cafe owner donates free meals to homeless people every weekend. And they also teach unemployed youth on how to cook and on how to serve customers. Next is the attitude of gratefulness. So dito, may mga tao kasi nagpo-focus on what they lack. But as an entrepreneur, they focus on their accomplishments, their success, and their present experiences. They try to look on positive things in every situation. Like, for example, pati sa mga problematic situation, they view it as an opportunity to learn, to grow, and also to improve themselves. So they are grateful for these situations. Lastly, the time is now. So for this entrepreneur, they do not have any idea on what could happen in the future, and they cannot also change what happened in the past. So for them, instead of waiting for the perfect timing or perfect plan, they prefer to take an immediate action or to take action now. Like for example, they start their business small with what they have, and they believe that it will eventually grow and succeed. Now let's move on to entrepreneurship as a habit. A habit is an unconscious behavior which is done often and regularly. And if you connect natin siya sa entrepreneurship, we have this unconscious behavior na kung saan we try to find creative solutions to our problems or like setting our personal goals. This habit could become a good habit that we could acquire in our habit loop. And from the word itself na habit loop, pwede siyang maging repeated actions. Our brain will make a decision whether we could repeat this action or if it is worth doing again or we should stop this kind of behavior. And if yung action na to, it brings a good result, then mapaprocess siya ng utak natin as a success. And our brain naturally want to repeat things that brings a reward. So doing this positive action over and over, it will turn them into an automatic everyday habits. So there are 3 habits that required most to be nurtured and be practiced for entrepreneurial mindsets. So meron tayong tinatawag na mnemonic dito na SCI or Start Creating Ideas. So first of all is the self-leadership habit. The self-leadership habit, we have here the book of authors Brynant and Kazan entitled Self-Leadership, How to Become a More Effective and Efficient Leader from the Inside Out. So this book contains yung mga learnings on how to master and guide yourself before you try to lead a business or other people. So dito, it highlights on the intentionally taking control of your own actions, thoughts, and emotions to be able to reach your goals. So in this part, when you practice a self-leadership, it could eventually help you to be more positive person, a happy person, and an emotionally intelligent person. And in self-leadership, we have here three important strategies. We have here a mnemonic, which is B and C, or be nice and caring. So first is the behavior focused. Its importance is to enhancing our self-awareness to be able to manage or to deal with tough, unpleasant, necessary tasks. And we have here the 5 ways to accomplish this strategy, or yung 5S natin, which are self-observation, self-goal setting, self-reward, self-punishment, and self-cueing. So for the self-observation, we have to pay attention to ourselves. We have to pay attention on how, when, and why entrepreneurs behave on different situations. Next is self-goal setting. We have to plan exactly on what we want to achieve. Next is self-reward. We still have to pay attention to ourselves or our accomplishments and give ourselves treats whenever we achieve a goal. Next is self-punishment. We have to allow ourselves to review or to reflect on the bad decisions that we make so that we can learn from it and we could avoid repeating those actions. Next is self-cueing. We are going to make lists or notes, writing motivational posters so that we could still keep ourselves motivated and keep our goals on our mind. So next is the natural rewards. So dito naman nakafocus tayo sa fun, positive, and meaningful parts as well as the importance of the task to make it fun and enjoyable. And then, lastly is the constructive thought. Dito naman, we eliminate all of the negative thinking patterns that we have and we replace it with the positive and productive thinkings so that it could help to build our confidence and to perform well.
When we hear the word creativity, many of us might think about the drawing, the colorful painting, or the process of making art. Yes, those are actually some examples to showcase creativeness, but when it comes to entrepreneurial nursing, creativity is much broader than that. Creativity is the ability to create something new from an idea, observation, or even imagination. So, in order for us to succeed, we must have to develop creative habit wherein you observe or formulate unique and useful ideas on how to capture the attention of your potential buyers. Being a creative person means you have to be open to experiments and do not fear mistakes. This is important because many successful ideas were not perfect at first, and it requires constant practice of showing creativeness. Creativity is also connected to imagination or thinking ideas outside the box. Before a product or service becomes real, someone first imagines it or the owner first imagines it. In short, imagination gives birth to ideas, while creativity turns those ideas into innovative reality. However, not everyone can easily be creative because there are barriers. First barrier is fear. Many people are afraid of failure or criticism, so they choose not to share their ideas. Second, no craving for disorder means a person prefers everything to be organized, predictable, or structured, and because of this, they may avoid exploring new ideas that seems messy or risky or uncertain like the entrepreneurial world. Another barrier is fondness for judging over making ideas. Some people immediately criticize their own idea before exploring its potential. These people tend to overthink the cons rather than the pros, which limits their creation of new ideas. There is also what we call the state for nurturing ideas,
where some people do not want to spend time and effort developing their ideas, and as a result, potentially good ideas are abandoned before they can become successful innovation. Fifth is we have perceived shortage of challenge. When people become too comfortable with their current situation, they may stop looking for improvements to create something new. For example, you build a fast food restaurant in an area wherein there are no competitors. Since you do not have any competitors around, the community just kept on supporting your product without any challenges. And as the owner, you will not develop new ideas on how to improve your store. Lastly is the failure to differentiate reality and fantasy. Imagination is part of being creative, as I have mentioned earlier, but ideas must still be connected to reality. So instead of focusing only on fantasies and unrealistic ideas, why not let's consider whether an idea can actually work, useful, or if it is achievable. And those are the 6 certain problems we can encounter in practicing creativeness. Next is the improvisation habit. Improvisation means being able to act when there is no complete plan. People with an improvisation habit are always prepared to face failure. Self-efficacy also plays a significant role in entrepreneurial actions. This refers to a person's belief in his or her ability to succeed. When entrepreneurs believe in themselves, they become more confident in making decisions and solving problems. Okay, so we have now discussed the creativity habit and improvisation habit. So the difference between the two is that creativity helps generate ideas, while improvisation helps entrepreneurs to respond when things do not go according to their plan. Now, let us discuss the opportunity recognition using mindset. An opportunity is a means to generate profits by creating unique, innovation, and desirable product or services that is not found in the market yet. One of the most important characteristics of entrepreneurs is the ability to see opportunities where others only see problems. Before, most people or most entrepreneurs think only of economic value, which means earning money or making a profit. However, nowadays entrepreneurs consider social values, which means selling the product that actually provides benefit to the society, and environmental value means opportunity to preserve the natural surrounding or environment. In opportunity recognition, entrepreneurs sees problems, frustrations, and unmet needs as possible opportunities. With the use of their entrepreneurial mindset, instead of focusing on the inconvenience, they focus on creating solutions to the needs of their customers. So, if this mindset is not utilized properly, then a missed opportunity is expected on their entrepreneurial journey. Now that we have discussed the habits and the opportunity recognition, let us now proceed on another topic, how to start with ideas. Since I have mentioned a while ago that innovations came from an idea, it is important to know the strategies of an entrepreneur in forming ideas. First is analytical. Analytical is about studying a problem carefully and breaking it down into a smaller part in order to understand it better. So instead of looking only on the problem as a whole, entrepreneurs examine the specific factors that contribute to the issue. By doing this, they can identify areas that need improvement and develop more effective solutions. Next is search. It involves linking personal experiences to existing problems since entrepreneurs encounter different situations in everyday life. These experiences can become source of business ideas. Third is imagination-based strategy. It involves interrupting doubts and dropping restrictions to produce fantasies or make-believe situations. This means entrepreneurs allows themselves to think freely without immediately worrying about limitations. But again, they must ask themselves first if their ideas are possible. For example, before pandemic, it might seem impossible to shop online, but with the use of playful minds of programmers and business owners, they made it possible. Now, we can shop online without any hassle of going at the mall, especially if we do not have too much time. The fourth strategy is habit breaking. Sometimes the human mind needs to be departed from usual patterns to stimulate creative insights. So entrepreneurs challenge traditional ways of doing things or their routines. Instead of following the usual approach, they try to think differently, and it helps them to recognize or discover new opportunities and innovations. Fifth is relationship seeking. This method involves establishing a link between concepts that are not usually connected. Entrepreneurs look at two different ideas and find ways to connect them into something new. So, for example, a photo shop and a cafe are two different businesses, but some cafe houses their own photo shops, and many groups of friends, family, and lovers actually enjoys going to these cafes because they were able to catch up with their friends while making sure that they will capture this moment in a photo shoot. And these two businesses concepts already existed, but combining them created a unique experiences for their customers. Six is development. Development employs the modification of existing concepts to make improved choices and new possibilities. This means entrepreneurs do not always need to invent something completely new, and sometimes improving an existing product or service can be enough. And lastly, for the strategies on how to start an idea, we have here the interpersonal. This strategy requires interaction with a group to generate ideas. Entrepreneurs recognize that different people have different perspectives and experiences. One common example is brainstorming. During brainstorming session, group members freely share ideas, and one person's idea can inspire other person's idea, resulting into more creative solutions on the problems. And with these seven strategies, we can now help not just ourselves but also others on how they can start formulating their ideas.
Now we will be proceeding with the four pathways to opportunity identification. In entrepreneurship, pathway is referred to as the way or the process kung paano nakakarating ang isang entrepreneur sa isang business opportunity. And before we proceed, I would like to emphasize the difference between opportunity and pathway. Opportunity refers to the business idea itself or the venture possibility. Meanwhile, pathway refers to the process or route that an entrepreneur follow or did to discover or create that opportunity. In simple terms, opportunity is the destination while pathway is the journey or the route that leads to it. So, proceeding, we have here four pathways: the find pathway, search pathway, effectuate pathway, and the design pathway. Starting off with the find pathway. So, this pathway assumes that opportunities already exist in the environment and are simply waiting to be discovered. Entrepreneurs identify a clear problem and then develop a solution to address it. In other words, they do not create the problem. They simply recognize it and respond with a solution. A good example is the story of Socorro Ramos, the founder of National Bookstore. She recognized the growing need for affordable school and office supplies and built a business that provided these products to Filipino customers. So she opened National Bookstore with a capital of 200 pesos only, and this was at the time when Manila was under the control of Japanese, who imposed censorship on books and periodicals, which then pushed her and her husband to selling books and school supplies to students. In short, find pathway is the I saw a problem or need and I developed a solution for it. Next is the search pathway. This pathway is commonly used when entrepreneurs know the industry or field they want to enter but are not yet sure about the exact business they want to start, which is why instead of immediately launching a business, they actively search for opportunities within an area that interests them. A great example for this is the story of Nonoy Colaiko, a co-founder of the company Level Up. He knew himself that Filipinos are fond of gaming, and through the help of his son, Ben Colaiko, a person passionate with playing games, together they brought gaming to a whole new level called Massively Multiplayer Online Games or MMOG, and eventually found a successful opportunity by bringing Ragnarok Online to the Philippine market. In simple terms, search pathway is the I knew the field I wanted, but I searched first for the best opportunity in this field. The next pathway that we have is the effectuate pathway. This focuses on the entrepreneur's existing resources, skills, experiences, knowledge, and connections. So instead of asking, what opportunities are out there? The entrepreneur asks, what do I know? Who do I know? And who am I? The entrepreneur then creates an opportunity based on those said resources. A great example for this pathway is the story of Milagros, Clarita, and Doris Lilin. They started Goldilocks with only a few cake displays and a small team. By using their baking skills, their knowledge, and passion, they gradually built one of the most successful bakery chains in the Philippines, which is Goldilocks. So in simple terms, this pathway or the effectuate pathway is the I used my skills and experiences as well as resources to create an opportunity. Lastly, we have the design pathway. This is considered the most challenging but also the most value-creating pathway. In this approach, entrepreneurs carefully observe people, identify their unmet or hidden needs, and design innovative solutions to address those said needs. Rather than finding an existing opportunity, they create something new that customers may not even realize they need yet, which is called the latent needs. A great example for this pathway was the experience of Jose Magsaysay Jr., the founder of Potato Corner. So before he reached his current title, which is the founder of Potato Corner, he was once a dishwasher who eventually climbed his way up to becoming a district manager before opening and starting his first Potato Corner stall way back in 1992. So how did he come up with this? He did so by observing market trends and consumer preferences. He knew that the craze for potato fries was everywhere, which is why he came up and introduced flavored French fries, creating a unique product that became highly successful. So in simple terms, this design pathway is the I observed people's needs and designed an innovative solution to meet them. To summarize, Find Pathway's key idea is to find a problem that's already existing and provide a solution. Meanwhile, Search Pathway searches for opportunities within an industry of interest. Effectuate Pathway, on the other hand, creates opportunities using a person's own skills, knowledge, resources, and connections. Lastly, Design Pathway identifies unmet needs or called latent needs and designs innovative solutions for those said needs. In conclusion, all four pathways leads to entrepreneurial opportunities, but they differ in how entrepreneurs discover or create those opportunities. Some find existing problems, some actively search, some use their own resources, and others innovate by designing solutions for unmet needs.
Good day. Now we will be proceeding to the cognitive process of opportunity recognition. So in simple terms, we will know kung paano nga ba nagwo-work yung utak ng isang entrepreneur pagdating sa pag-connect ng mga dots mula sa simple information na nakikita natin sa paligid hanggang sa maging isang totoong business action. So para hindi po tayo malito, ang mnemonics natin for here is PAPIO. So this stands for prior knowledge, alertness, pattern recognition, idea generation, and opportunity. So dito natin makikita yung pag nanegosyo pala, hindi lang siya biglang sumusulpot na dahil sa luck. So kumbaga, sa mga entrepreneurs or business owners, lahat sila dumadaan sa process na to. And I will be discussing more about it. We will start, of course, in the foundation of the PAPIO. The prior knowledge and entrepreneurial alertness, sila yung nagsisilbing raw materials ng utak natin. So with the entrepreneurial alertness, para po madaling maintindihan, isipin na lang natin na may 24/7 business radar yung brain natin. So hindi natin kailangan mag-isip ng todo o mag-research, magdamag para lang makahanap ng business opportunity. Kumbaga, natural mo lang na mapapansin yung mga gaps, problems, or frustration ng mga tao sa paligid natin. Pero hindi lang sapat na alert lang yung meron tayo. So dito papasok yung prior knowledge. So ito naman yung database natin. Lahat ng napag-aralan natin, mga personal na karanasan, o yung background natin sa nursing. So the dynamic here is simple. Information alone is not enough. So kahit gaano ka-alert yung radar natin, kung wala kang prior knowledge na isang bagay, hindi mo magigets kung ano yung nakikita mo. So yung prior knowledge acts as the lens or database para ma-decote natin yung mga napapansin ng alertness natin. So for example, gawin nating scenario yung sa hospital. So kung ang isang ordinary tao na walang medical background ay nakakita siya ng oxygen tank na laging natutumba o mahirap i-transport, baka mapansin niya lang na delikado yon or unbothered siya. Pero dahil tayo, as nursing students, may prior knowledge tayo sa safety and emergency. Once na gumana yung alertness natin, may isip agad natin na malaking abala yun kapag may code blue or pwede rin talagang maging risk or can cause harm to people. Now na may input na tayo mula sa alertness at prior knowledge, let's proceed sa third letter ng papillon, the pattern recognition. So, ang definition nito is, it is the cognitive process of identifying links or connection between seemingly unrelated events, changes, or trends. So, in simple terms, ito yung kakayahan mong pagtabihin yung dalawa o tatlong magkakaibang bagay para makakita ng bagong picture. So, ang mechanism nito, pagharapin mo yung fresh observations mo ngayon, yung alertness, at yung stored memories or knowledge mo dati, which is yung prior knowledge, at kung paano natin gagawin ito. So, dun papasok yung pattern recognition. So, titingnan natin ang iba't ibang trends sa paligid natin. So, for example, pag-isipan natin yung tatlong example na ibibigay ko. First is changes in technology, tulad ng mga smart devices. Second is yung demographic changes, like yung pagdami ng population group or aging population. Third is the political or regulatory shifts, tulad ng mga bagong laws dito sa Philippines or health-related laws. So, real-life example naman dito is, isipin natin na halos lahat ng mga tao ngayon nakatutok na sa smartphone. At the same time, napapansin natin sa community nursing natin na dumadami yung mga matatandang naiiwan mag-isa sa bahay dahil nagtatrabaho yung mga anak. So, sa pamamagitan ng pattern recognition, pagduduktungin natin yung dalawang bagay na yon. So, may isip natin, bakit hindi tayo gumawa ng isang basic, senior-friendly monitoring mobile app para sa mga matatandang may hypertension? So, doon tayo magsisimula makabuo ng connection or yung tinatawag nating pattern. Dito tayo sa huling part ng PAPIO, which is yung idea generation at opportunity recognition. Madalas po kasi nating napagkakamalan na kapag may naisip ka magandang idea, business opportunity na agad yon. So medyo magkaiba po sila. Sa idea generation, this is just the first step. So ito yung production ng mga raw, new at creative na ideas. So dito, pure creativity ang focus. Yung parang minsan mapapasabi ka na, uy, parang ang sarap magbenta ng ganito. Pero hanggang doon lang muna kasi nasa isip mo pa lang. While yung opportunity recognition naman, ito yung final destination wherein tinatransform na yung creative ideas na yun para maging isang validated product o service na may actual economic value. So kung yung idea ay nakatutok sa creativity, ang opportunity naman nakatutok sa viability. So dito papasok yung kung uubra ba talaga yung idea na yun or yung naisip mo sa totoong buhay at kung meron bang bibili. So, paano natin malalaman kung ang isang idea ay naging isang ganap na opportunity na? So, gagamitan natin na tinatawag na essential test. So, may tatlong factors dito, yung valuable, rare, and costly to imitate. So, sa valuable, dito yung papasok yung mga questions na may market demand ba, may client or patient ba na handang magbayad para doon kasi kung masasagot naman yung problema nila, why not? So, the next will be yung rare. So, questions naman here is, bago ba or unique ba yun? Kasi baka meron ng kapareha or katulad sa labas. And the third is costly to imitate. Mahirap ba siyang gayahin agad-agad ng ibang tao? So, sa real life example natin, gamitin nating scenario yung pocket ng mga nursing uniform natin tuwing nag-duty tayo. So, alam natin lahat na ang bigat and ang gulo palagi ng bulsa natin kasi puno-puno ng microport-D, pen light, thermometer, or kung ano-ano pang diagnostic tools, right? So, minsan nahuhulog pa kapag yumuyuko tayo sa pasyente. So, ngayon, just for example lang, kunwari naisip ko, what if gumawa ako ng isang lightweight, compact, at washable na pocket organizer insert? Yung parang isusuksok mo na lang sa bulsa ng uniform mo, na meron na siyang mga perfect slots na para sa lahat ng tools at may safety clip para hindi mahulog kapag yumuyuko. So, kapag yung naisip kong yan, nandun pa lang ako sa stage na idea generation. So, pumasa ba siya sa ating essential test, yung binanggit ko kaninang 3, para maging isang ganap na opportunity. So, doon na papasok ulit yung 3 factors, yung valuable, rare, and costly to imitate. So, valuable ba siya? Yes, sobrang kailangan siya ng mga nursing students at other medical staffs kasi nakakatipid sa oras, iwas wala ng tools at mas organized din tignan and magagamit mo agad if need mo yung tool na gagamitin mo. Next is kung rare ba siya. Unique siya kung gagamit ako ng fluid resistant na antimicrobial fabric na madaling i-disinfect. Na which is ito yung parang bagay na wala pa sa mga ordinary pouch sa online shops ngayon, like yung ginagamit natin sa ER na belt bag, right? And then next is costly to imitate. Magiging mahirap siyang gayahin agad kung ako yung makikipag-tie up sa mga local tailoring shops na gumagawa mismo ng mga nursing uniform natin. Kunwari kala Aring Cora, sa kanila lang ganon. Kumbaga, sa kanila lang ako makikipag-negotiate about it para kasama na siya agad sa mga binibili ng mga students. So once na mapatunayan natin na yung demand at uubra na ibenta sa mga nursing schools, doon pa lang natin masasabi na yung simpleng idea natin, mula doon sa idea generation, doon pa lang siya magiging ganap na opportunity kapag naging successful. And dyan na po nagtatapos yung buong process ng PAPIO, the prior knowledge, alertness, pattern recognition, idea generation, and opportunity. So thank you for listening.